Welcome back to Wisconsin Family. We're filming today at Steinway & Sons Piano Gallery. It's on Mineral Point Road. You know, one of the things I love about our program is that we get to learn about businesses and what they do, what they have to offer. But today we're going to learn why the owner of Steinway decided to open this piano gallery.
That'll be good.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I like that. But right now, I don't know how we segue into law, but we're meeting with a lawyer right here. Joining us is Christopher Ellis. Thanks for stepping in today and chatting with us. Let's start with, what kind of law do you practice?
My main area of focus is criminal law. That includes criminal appeals.
That sounds serious.
Yeah, I mean, generally criminal is trial level. Appeals, it's not more serious, I guess, just a continuation of the trial process.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Are you in court quite a bit? I'm just curious.
For an appeal, no.
Okay.
Basically, if you file a motion afterwards, I'm sure you're familiar with the trial level stages from movies and TV.
Right. Yeah.
But basically, an appeal, it's basically more legal research, research, drafting, stuff like that. So anyway, if you file a motion, you might have to go to court to argue on it. If you do actually go through the appeal process, there is an oral argument that you might have for your brief. But basically, you're looking at those 2 times.
So you're mentioning appeal here, and I guess maybe some of our viewers, and myself included, what exactly is an appeal? An
appeal is basically the defendant's chance to take the case to a higher court and have the higher court review the case. And then so basically, again, with the trial level, most people are familiar with, but if you lose at the trial level, you have a chance to take it to an appeal to have the higher court review it to make a determination. This gives the defendant a chance to raise any issues that he feels that the trial court erred on or something like that. So one example would be at the trial level, if you filed a motion and lost on that motion, then you can take it to the Court of Appeals and see if the Court of Appeals feels differently than the trial court did.
Okay.
And that's where you come in to review that appeal?
Yes, it can be the same attorney, but sometimes it's a different attorney, and especially if you're looking into an ineffective assistance of counsel, a different attorney would be better to review the case.
Right.
But essentially, once the trial attorney is done with the case, then it goes over to an appellate attorney, and then they re-review. And then basically we get the court record, the transcript, trial attorney file, and re-review everything just to kind of see if an error was made.
I think I've heard you say that you actually kind of like this part of law because it's based on the law and interpreting the law and following the letter of the law, not establishing what facts.
Yes, it's less fact related, more law related. Basically, in continuation with that, basically at the trial court level, it's very kind of on the spot type situation. You know, you have a DA who, an issue comes up, DA says something, maybe they did research on it, defense attorney may not have had time to look into it, and the judge makes a ruling sometimes on the spot if at trial or something. So for example, an objection would be made, and let's say the judge doesn't actually even have time to look into himself, not saying he really made a mistake, but essentially ruled against the law. I guess that would be a mistake. But anyway, he ruled.
But he ruled based on what he knew.
Yes, he didn't have time to do the research. So with an appeal, it gives you a chance to kind of sit down, take the time to do legal research, and then at the Court of Appeals, the judges, same thing, they get the brief, they have the time to do the research that a trial judge might not have on the spot.
Sure, interesting.
So if someone is going to go with an appeal process, what are some of the issues that they tend to run into or can run into?
There are some simple ones, such as sentence credit. And in case you didn't know this, but if you're sitting in jail for the charge prior to trial, when you're sentenced, you are actually entitled to those days added to your sentence or taken away. And that's sentence credit. And sometimes, and this is again on the spot thing, if all the parties didn't know the proper sentence credit or they counted wrong, and then that's something that you can appeal. And then basically when I look at it, I would again look at the record, see how many days the person was supposed to get, make a determination, and then if I feel that the judgment of conviction was wrong, file a motion, notify the court, and then, like I said, that'd be a more simple one. Generally, as long as I'm actually right, there's no issues to argue about it. There are some more complicated ones, such as if the police didn't have a search warrant or they violated the defendant's Miranda rights. Something like that would take more research. The DA would probably object to my motion, so that might be something that I have to take to the Court of Appeals.
Yeah. Well, it kind of sounds like you're really there to look out for people's best interests and make sure that none of their rights were violated or anything like that during the process. So I mean that's good to know. So typically, how long does an appeal take?
Depends on the appeal, but essentially you're looking at a year or two.
Wow.
Yes, it does. It's very lengthy, and just to kind of start with, not to try and bore you too much, but essentially, once I request the court record and transcripts, they then have 60 days to give that to me. Once I receive all that, I then have 60 days to review it and make a decision. If we file a post-conviction motion, the court has, it's either 40 or 60, I can't remember the exact days, to rule on that. And then after that, I believe then I would have 20 days to file a notice of appeal, and then it's,
and this is why you hire someone like this.
Exactly.
To keep track of all of that.
Each stage, though, it takes about a month or two, basically, so that's why the whole time it's very lengthy.
It does add up.
Do people ever file for extensions beyond the 60-day mark?
Yes, extensions are very common. Court of Appeals tend to grant those fairly often.
Yeah.
I try not to do that just simply because I haven't looked at the file.
Right.
But essentially, sometimes if there's a conflict of interest and the file comes to me, I'll have like a week to make a determination, which obviously is enough, so I notify the Court of Appeals that I'll need more time to make a determination.
All righty, well, Christopher, thank you so much. This is Christopher Ellis. You're at 995 Applegate Road?
Yes.
And is that, how do people find you? Phone number, website?
Phone number on the bottom of the screen, probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Phone number, I do have a website as well.
All right, we'll put those on the screen then.
Okay.
All right, thanks again. We're at Steinway, and we'll be right back.